I'd like to call the Special Election Committee for January 31st, 2023 to order. It is 9:01 a.m. We have a quorum of the 5 members. First order of business would be approval of the minutes from the December 27th meeting. Does anyone have any objection to those being approved as submitted? All right, then they'll be accepted as they were written. Thank you very much. First order of new business is the final committee approval of this thing, the candidate draft packet. This has had most of the wording that went into the petitioner's packet distilled out of it. So it's smaller. There are still a few places in here where the term candidate is used, where I think it needs to be adjusted. And I'm going to work with Karen over the summer just to get that word change completed. But otherwise, if no one has any objections, we will accept this draft as being the final output document of the committee. And I want to thank everybody for all of their hard work on that. So thank you. The next order of business, 3.02, is a recap of our accomplishments for the year. We had 3 meetings for the year because we got a late start, unfortunately. So October, December, and the meeting today, January. We had 4 members pick up packets. 3 of them completed the petitioning process, and since there were 4 open director positions, those 3 candidates will be seated on the board to begin the term in July 1st, 2023. Since there was not enough members who took out petitions and became candidates, that shortened our life cycle a little bit here because we have nothing else to do as far as candidate training or the forums or the work in the library, which would all be things that we would have been responsible for. So we were relieved of that. Personally, I'm sorry we didn't have enough candidates because I think it's healthy for the community to have an election where we get to hear from the members and the candidates and what they intend to bring to the board and how they can help the community. But it didn't happen that way, so we got to cut that short. We modified the process very slightly and broke the candidate process into a petitioning process and a candidate process, and we just approved the final document for the candidate process. I think that's a positive change because it lessens the upfront work on, well, not only this community, but for future communities to get the documents ready and be prepared for November 1st when we have to start distributing the petitioners' packets to those that are interested in running for the board. We removed the redundant details, as I mentioned, out of this packet that went into the petitioners' packet. We always, though we got a late start, we worked smoothly, I think, and quickly together. And careful consideration of the changes to the new process were, I think, a positive change for the community as well as just for the result of our committee. And I was proud to have been the chairman of this committee, and I would like to take this opportunity to, as a personal note, apologize individually and collectively to the members of the community for what I believe was an insufficient amount of communication from me between meetings out to the committee members to understand what the status was of the activities that were going on. For example, the petitioning and so forth. And that was an error on my part. I apologize for that. And I promise you I won't ever have it happen again. But thank you for being tolerant of this oversight on my part. I indeed appreciate it. Business 3.03, remainder of governing board events is canceled. We kind of covered that already, but we don't have any other commitments to the community or to the board that beyond our final meeting today. And so 4.04, with that in mind, if there are no objections, I would like to officially dissolve this. Yes, it's on.
One thing that I would like to make a recommendation on is, as you mentioned, I think we need to have more people come out to step forward for these roles. I think it's important. I think an election is important. I would like to see us be proactive in finding candidates. And as part of that, I would like to see us have some sort of, well, to promote it more, and to also have some sort of class get together to where we present what it means to be a board member, what is expected of you as a board member. A lot of people don't realize the time that's involved. But I would like to see us have something in October before the packets are picked up, and that we really go out there and promote. And I would be happy to help with that over the summer, that we come up with, much like we had the training last year, but the people don't know what's involved in petitioning. People don't know what's involved, and I think that we need something that we invite the community to come out and find out more about what it means to serve on the board. And I would like to make that as a formal recommendation going forward.
I think that's a good recommendation. I've actually already had a couple conversations since January 3rd with the board president, and asked if he had any ideas regarding ways to get more folks interested in running for the board again. I know he has written several pieces in the Rec Center News and also in the Independent newspaper regarding running for the board, and I think his last iteration in this February issue of the Rec Center News was reasons not to run for the governing board, which is a tongue-in-cheek, my wife won't let me. My retirement life is too full to have the time to donate. And it was kind of a David Letterman top 10 with a tongue-in-cheek. But yes, I think that's a good idea. I had intended next to see if there could be some way we could possibly get some time in the fall torch class to discuss this with the incoming members and maybe start and see if we could make it grow. I think one of the things also that may dissuade members sometimes is they see on the replay of committee meetings and so forth that they run for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and a lot of people lose interest just because they say, a lot of this seems like we're just boiling the ocean. And we're not really making any progress, but we're putting an awful lot of time into it. So maybe collectively the current directors need to focus a little bit on that, and we need to try to let people know that, there's work involved, but it's not make work. In other words, we get done what we need to do, and I know I've tried to stay with that as a theme for this committee, to not take any more of your valuable time that was absolutely necessary. But it's a very good idea, and I will take that as an output and include it in the final report that I have to write for the committee that needs to be turned in. And I've found that apparently the final reports are written and then filed in a notebook and never see the light of day again. And I think since we are commissioned by the board, that we have an obligation to make sure that the board knows what we did. So I'm going to see if I can, perhaps in the March meeting, if I can present the output report to the board, let them know what we did, some of the observation we had, and see if they can get it into their ears. Whereas, just writing the report is, to me, that's no measure of success at all if it just goes into a binder and that's the end of it. Exactly. I think that the output is valuable, and we do work as an adjunct to the board. But I think the board needs to know, you gave us a job and this is what we did. So I intend to put that in the final report, which I'd like to. And I will try and let all of you know when we do get on the board's meeting schedule, and I'll make sure all of you know if you'd like to come along and watch me make a total fool of myself in front of the board and the members of the community. So if there are no objections, I would like to propose that we formally dissolve the election committee for 2022-2023 at this time. Any objections to that?
No objection.
Okay. Then our committee is officially dissolved. We no longer have any business to perform. And I thank all of you for your professionalism, your dedication, your hard work, and your commitment to making this not only the process work, but also to the community and delivering the best that we could under the circumstances to the community from the position that we were entrusted with. So thank you very much. And I believe that our meeting is adjourned at 9:14 today. Thank you very much.